episode of Teen Crafternoon. I'm Miss Randy, and today I'm going to show you how to make a DIY snowman. Let me show you what you need to get started. Okay, so we are going to be making this DIY snowman today, and this is what is included with the kit. You're going to have a sock, you'll have a piece of felt, a bag of polyfill stuffing, a coaster that we've pre-cut. This is kind of a cardboard coaster. A black marker, buttons. You'll have 4 buttons, and you also have 4 pom-poms. You can choose to use either one. Today I'm going to be using buttons. You'll also have 2 rubber bands, and you're going to have a sheet of glue dots. So first we are going to use our sock. So let me push everything to the side. So we have a sock here, and basically, I'm going to do this so you can see where we're getting started. We're going to cut the top of the sock off. So you don't need to use the marker for this. I'm just marking the sock so you can see. I'm going to cut the top portion away from the bottom portion. So your kit is not going to include scissors. You're going to need a good pair of scissors to do this craft. So grab some from home. You're going to first cut the top part off of the sock, like I said, so you're going to end up with the bottom piece. Then what we're going to do is on the top piece of the sock, we're going to cut probably maybe like a 1/2 inch off so that we have a smaller piece as well. And it really doesn't matter the size. We're going to use these 2 parts later. So you're going to end up with 3 pieces. You're going to have this piece right here. You're going to have this smaller piece that we cut off from the top of the sock, and you're going to have the bottom of the sock. So for now, we're going to push these 2 to the side, and we're going to use the bottom of the sock. Okay, so for the next part of the craft, we are going to use the bottom portion of the sock and the coaster. What we are going to do is create the base of our snowman so that they can sit upright. So I'm going to put that to the side. We're just going to take this coaster and we're going to put it inside the sock. So you're going to just kind of maneuver it so that it's at the bottom of the sock. There is some writing on the sock, so you might want to situate it, maneuver it so that you can't see the writing. So you'll end up with something that looks like this. So from this point, what you want to do is grab your bag of polyfill stuffing, and you're probably going to have more than you need, but we wanted to make sure you had enough. So I'm just going to grab a bunch of the polyfill, and what I'm going to do is sort of stuff it into the sock. And I'm just going to push it down so that we have enough to make the body of the snowman. So I'm just going to keep going. Add a little bit more, not too much more. You do want to make sure that you have enough sock at the top so that we can close it. So you don't want to overfill it. This should probably be good enough. Let me just make sure that he's all sorts of cute. So we end up with something like this. So from this point, what we need to grab are the rubber bands. So you have 2 rubber bands in your kit. So we want to close the top portion of the snowman off with using a rubber band. So all I'm going to do is just wrap it around a couple times to close it off. So you end up with something that looks like that. And then you want to use the other rubber band to make a head for your snowman. So all I'm doing is I'm about that far down. You can see I'm that far down. And it's entirely up to you. I'm going to try wrapping it 3 times so that I can differentiate the body and the head. You do want to make sure that you have enough, that the head is big enough, because we're going to be adding a nose and the eyes and the mouth. So make sure that you have a big enough portion of your snowman. And so we have that. I've completed that step. So you can bring your scissors back in. You can trim the top of the sock off because you're not really going to need this part. So you can trim a bit of that off. And that'll work out later because we won't, we're going to put a hat on top of the snowman. So we don't need all that excess fabric. All right. So there we go. So let's move on to the next step. So for the next step, we are going to need our glue dots and either your buttons or your pom-poms. It's entirely up to you, whatever you would like to choose. You have 4 of each. So you'll see you're going to have a sheet of glue dots. I've sort of torn them apart. There's 1 glue dot on each of these little squares. So you'll see the glue dot right there. So all I'm going to do is actually place my button. I'm going to press down and I'm going to peel the backing off, and then I have my glue dot on the button. And then all you're going to do is just glue that, press it down, and glue it to your snowman. So we're going to do that for the buttons that go on the belly. So I'm just going to peel the backing off of my 3 other glue dots. I'm going to do the same thing, put my button over the top of the glue dot, press down, and then I'm going to peel the plastic backing off so that my glue dot is on the button, and then I'm going to do the same thing I did with the nose. I'm going to just adhere them to the snowman by pressing down and making the buttons for the belly. There you have it. So then for this next part, you'll need your marker. So I'm just going to use the marker to draw the eyes and the mouth. And so all I really do is I start by making a small circle. And then I just keep drawing until I get the size that I want. It's up to you. You can decorate your snowman however you want. I like to draw dots for the mouth and the eyes. Just kind of make sure that they're all the same size. You can draw a line, you can draw eyelashes, whatever you would like. So there we have our snowman face. Super cute. For this next portion, you'll need your felt. So we've given you a strip of felt. So there's 2 things that you can do. You can loop it around the rubber band and tie a knot. Of course you can do that. You can also use your scissors to cut a small hole near one end of the felt. So all I'm going to do is I folded it in half. I'm going from the middle and I'm cutting a little hole. So it ends up looking like that. So then all I'm going to do is I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to wrap it around my snowman, but instead of tying it, I'm going to take the opposite end and thread it through the hole I just made. And so we have, you don't have to cut too big of a hole. I might have cut too big of a hole, but it's up to you. You know, you can tie it or do this part here. But you'll see you can adjust the felt so that he has a cozy little scarf wrapped around his neck. Just like that. Just like that. The other thing that you can do if you want, this is optional as always, is you can use your scissors to add a bit of fringe. So all you would need to do is just kind of, at the end of the scarf, just cut some fringe. Just like that. And there you have the snowman with his scarf. You can adjust it however you need. I needed to adjust it because it was covering up his mouth. One thing you want to be sure is when you're drawing, you want to make sure, I probably did this a little bit too low. You want to do it a little bit, you want to make sure that the scarf is not going to cover what you've drawn. So just be careful when you're placing everything on the snowman. For the last step, we are going to be making a hat for our snowman. So we're going to use the top portion of the sock and the little loop of fabric that we cut off of that top portion. So what we are going to do is, where you have your frayed edges, where you cut, you're going to fold that up a couple times so that you can make a little band for your hat. And then you're just going to put that on top of your snowman's head. So I'm going to just put that on top. You can adjust it after you've finished this part. So I'm going to pull it down a little farther than it needs to be for now. And then what we're going to do is we're going to bunch the fabric near the top. We're going to close this sock off, and we're going to use the little loop that we cut off, and we're just going to wrap it around the sock to create the top portion of the hat. So you can see I'm just looping it around a couple of times. So you'll end up with this little puff at the top, and you can adjust the hat however you need to. And you have finished your cute little snowman. Well, that's all the time we have for today. We hope you have enjoyed this project. Stop by the Vortex while supplies last to pick up your Craft on the Go kit so you can make your own little adorable DIY snowman. To view more videos like this, visit our YouTube channel at fountaindale.org/YouTube. We'll see you next time.